Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fan Experience TV. Hey, Rick, do anything fun this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I was hanging at Patchogue. Rudy's Bar and Grill. Episode 100.
Episode 100 this past Sunday. Thank you for all of you that came by and hung out with us. Special thank you to John Hartophiles for some great socks that he came and personally delivered to us.
Yes.
I will.
I have them around here somewhere.
I'm not. I have them on right now, but I am not limber enough to lift my leg.
Yeah, let's not do that.
The camera. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
To John for that. From Gen Z Hoops, please check out his podcast if you have not already. Multiple time guests in the first 100 episodes. So, for those of you tuning in right now for episode 101 for the first time, I am Mike Katos. I'm the host, and alongside me is my co-host, Rick Molina. Rick, how are we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. What a weekend of sports it was.
What a weekend indeed.
Tyson Fury knocking out Deontay Wilder. We had a crazy NFL weekend, obviously for the locals, Jets and Giants. It was brutal. And then
more so for the Giants.
More so for the Giants, yeah, who literally 4 guys got knocked out of that game. But a star was born with Kadarius Toney, 10 catches, 189 yards, and a touchdown. And then, we had last night's incredible Monday night game, but right before halftime, word comes down that John Gruden, former head coach, was the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, resigns in the wake of his horrific emails uncovered by the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, in which he disparaged DeMaurice Smith, made some horrific comments, homophobic comments and other slurs and whatever.
Racial
it's just
slurs,
terrible.
Homophobic slurs, things that do not bear repeating.
And will not be repeated on this show.
And will not be repeated. It's just completely unacceptable. And actually, there was news just a few moments ago.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are removing him from the Ring of Honor in their stadium as well. John Gruden, of course, was a coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and won a Super Bowl with them. And
there's a statue of it.
Was enshrined into the Ring of Honor over there. And, no longer. And big it's big news. Obviously, you know what? Good for the NFL to come, cracking down on it, and obviously, Gruden resigned, but we all know that there was a lot of strings being pulled, and a lot of things going on behind the scenes there.
Right. No, and
it was
good.
The right thing. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Gruden, saving face for as much as it's worth, but his needless to say, I think his career in sports and sports broadcasting and anything related to sports is probably safe.
Oh, it's done. It's over. And good, here's the thing, though. When the first email came out last week, how did he not resign, or they didn't force him off the team then? They let him coach the game, for God's sakes. And the Raiders looked like they didn't even want to play. I thought during the game, we were doing the show Sunday, I thought there was some fighting them. I think I mentioned that they were fighting for their coaches. And then the Raiders had no life in them. And then when the rest of it came out, it was almost like, okay, he didn't resign, he wasn't fired. Well, let's dump these out and see if we can get him out of there. And that's what happened. But he should never be able to stand in front of a group of men again and coach a football team. That, just some of the stuff he said. But here's the other thing. That was the investigation of the Washington football team. What else did they uncover that they don't want to release in those emails, right? Bruce Allen was the president.
I saw
a bunch of stuff. And he worked at ESPN, too.
I didn't look into it any further, but I saw some headlines about, some pretty, scandalous emails on Dan Snyder's side of things as well. Nothing like with Gruden, but, some that were NSFW, let's just say at least. And I have not looked into it any further, but it doesn't look like he's like 100% innocent in all this.
I don't think anybody's innocent in all this. I mean, there were 650,000 emails, man. Gruden cannot be Gruden can't be the only one in with these emails. I mean, if you send an email to somebody, somebody's going to reply, right? And he was sending these at the time he was working ESPN. Who else was involved? Who else got emails? Who responded to the emails? Who was on these chains? It's a big deal, man. I mean, it's a big deal, and so the NFL can do one of two things. They can be transparent and say, all right, we're going to release all this stuff. Or if they go into their sort of, we can't do this because of that or the other, the story's just going to get worse for the league. And the last thing you want to do is alienate players and alienate people. But, this stuff has got to end, man. It's just got to stop, and it's just, what can you say? It's just, I mean, the guy's gone.
You have to say that it has to stop. That's the
problem. No, you shouldn't have. It shouldn't have, but that's what it is, man. It's just it's a horrific thing, and then now the Raiders move on, and Mark Davis, the owner, has to come out and say something eventually. Carl Nassib was on that team, who's the first openly gay player. Tomorrow when they go into they go in for back for practice, they're definitely gonna ask him. I mean, you heard Tomlin today was just like saying it's a sad situation. I mean, this is yeah, exactly, Joe. It's terrible. And so, and the league is going to have to, everybody in the league is going to have to answer this stuff. I mean, it's just a sad situation. So the NFL should get in front of it and get these emails released if they can, and just kind of, sort of do the right thing. But we'll see. We'll see how they approach it.
Yeah. I mean, so far they're on the right path, but it's still far from behind us, and it won't be behind us for a while. Our guest was backstage.
And our second biggest story of the day is Kyrie Irving and the New Jersey Nets basically saying that, you're not the Brooklyn Nets, excuse me, you're not practicing, you're not playing. The team has a situation of being unvaccinated. And so now he's pretty much off the team, and the Nets are moving forward without him. And look, I know everybody has a different opinion on this. Mine is, Kyrie Irving is a rebel without a cause in this way. It's almost like he has to fight for some whatever reason, And so, your employer tells you got to do it. He doesn't want to do it, and this wasn't done. This was done with the blessing of a Kevin Durant and a James Harden. The owner Joe Tsai, who's very pro-vaccine, and obviously. The GM over there just decided, enough's enough. And, they said, you're not going to play until things change. And so Kyrie has a choice. He can get vaccinated or he can just not play, lose $18 million.
Yeah. So, I mean, it comes down to this. Wherever you fall in the vaccine, non-vaccine space, whatever your opinion is, comes down to your employer saying you need to, and you need to. And that's it. It's the employer putting down a directive and a mandate that you have to follow, and if you don't work for the organization. It just so happens that this is a professional sports franchise that is requesting and mandating, this said vaccine. So, and that's it. I mean, they have dropped the hammer, and that is their feeling on it all. But yeah, a lot of great games this past weekend. We covered a lot of them on Sunday, but a big one last night. We had the Indianapolis Colts up 22-3 on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens come firing back a year after Rick would declare that the Ravens can't come back from a deficit. Lamar Jackson looks like a whole new quarterback now, and it was an amazing sight to behold last night. And we would like to get some thoughts from our next guest, who is a big Indianapolis Colts fan. But right now, let's bring on our featured guest for episode 101 of Fan Experience TV. Please help us welcome the host of the Halftime Snacks podcast, Mr. Ronen Ainbinder. How we doing?
Yo, what's going on,
Right?
guys?
Did I get the last
What's
name
up,
right?
Ronen? How are you?
Man, you got it perfectly, man. I'm actually surprised. Not everyone get it so fast. Man, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so pumped to be on your show. Man, you guys are killing it. I'm serious. Like live show, like, man, are you kidding? Like, I do it pre-recorded. I erase all the like shit that I say in between, and I don't know. Like, you guys are killing it. Like, what's the hardest part of doing it live? Is it like coming up with good things to say, or just not screwing it up? Or like, what's the hardest part?
I think we're just used to it, right?
Not giving a shit. I mean, pardon my French, but I mean, you know what?
Man, you guys are killing it, man. Seriously.
It's really it's not as difficult as you would think. It seems intimidating. It seems it.
At first, yeah.
At first, but I guess there's you can't have any regrets. Like, you're just laying it all out, all on the line, and it's just what it is, and you just roll with it. And it's been working out. I mean, 100 episodes now, all 100% live. So so far working out pretty good. And obviously people have done like IG lives and stuff like that. So we're not trendsetters in any way. And live sports talk shows all the time, ESPN. So you know what, sports is meant to be live, right? So
absolutely, man. First of all,
so why not
respect to you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, I was on
I'm sure that I'm gonna screw up a couple of times. I hope it's not so many.
That's all right.
This is my first time doing live. First time actually coming as a guest as well. So super excited for it, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, very low key. Just think of it as us just hanging out at a bar and just shooting the shit, right?
Awesome, man.
So, talk to us. Did you watch the game last night? I know you're a big Colts fan. So tell us what went through your head with a nice little commanding lead. Carson Wentz playing well. Jonathan Taylor, 76-yard touchdown, gave me a come from behind victory in fantasy. So thank you very much to Jonathan Taylor over there. But yeah, I mean, it was far from over. And
man, my heart is just broken, man. Like, let me tell you something. Colts played a great game, okay? Holding off Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens offense for 3 quarters and a half is not easy. It's really not easy. Okay, so defense played well. Carson Wentz gave the best game that he's given so far in the Colts. And man, they were playing amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna blame it honestly on the kicker. Okay, because he had a couple chances, a couple of opportunities to seal the game, close it off, finish it. He was dealing a couple of injuries, hip injury. I know. There was something weird. I don't know if you guys saw, but one of the kicks, he wasn't going in. Rigoberto Sanchez was gonna be the one making the kick. Naheem Hines was gonna be the holder. That was so weird. But then kind of like Ravens made a penalty, and then then Rigo comes over, and then he kicks and he makes it. But then afterwards, man, he had the worst game that I've ever seen him play. In the 2-3 years that he's been with the Colts, and that was the reason why we lost, man. Because offense played well, defense was gassed at the fourth quarter. You can see not even Darius Leonard or DeForest Buckner, he wasn't even getting to the quarterback anymore. It's hard, man. Like, defending Lamar Jackson is a crazy task, because you have to be so aware that he's a quarterback that can run, so you can't be too aggressive, but you can't also hold back, because he's going to kill you through air. So man, it was so tough. I mean, it was one of the toughest games that I've seen so far from the Colts. They were so good until like the last quarter, and then again I blame it on Rigo because on Blankenship, because he was the one he had chances to seal the game, and he just couldn't capitalize it, man.
Hey, I mean, that was the story of Week 5. I mean, the kickers, most missed extra points in 1 week in NFL
How many
history,
were there? They're like 13, 14?
I think it ended up being 13. I think it was 12, and then I think Blankenship missed one in this one. And hey, if you're going to go up against Justin Tucker on the other side, you better be on your A game. You don't miss kicks. You don't miss kicks. If you miss kicks, you're done. Because Justin Tucker just doesn't know how to miss kicks.
Man,
but yeah,
that's the thing. Like
13
the thing
missed
is that,
extra points and
and we don't give kickers enough credit. Like honestly, like it probably seems like an easy task to do, right? But it's not easy at all. Like go out right now to your garden or to like the park and try kicking a ball. You're not gonna make it probably like more than 10 yards, 15 yards if you're a good kicker. Like it's not the same thing kicking a soccer ball. Like I don't know what you think, Rick, or you, Mike, but seriously, kicking like a football, like American football ball is not easy. And we don't give them enough credit because they're not involved as much, right? But then they're also placed in situations, in critical situations where they either make it or they break it, right? So I guess that they just carry, like they don't carry any of the like the popularity, and they can only carry most of like the defeat, if that makes any sense at all. They can only be blamed. They cannot be like, I don't know. It's tough, man, to be a kicker in this league.
Unless it's in the Super Bowl, then they get a little bit more glory at the end of it, like the Vinatieri's of the world. So you mentioned real quick. You mentioned American football. So for those of you that don't know, Ronen's coming up to us live from Mexico City, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, man. We call football here to watch soccer, you guys.
Fan Experience has officially gone international. This is our first.
Nice.
Guest that is not based in the United States. So
let's go.
That's it. I mean, 100 episodes in the States, and now we're going international. But so from Mexico City, how did you become an Indianapolis Colts fan, Denver Nuggets fan? Then you also like Chelsea in the Premier League. So how did those team choices come about?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna explain real quick. So probably maybe if most of the audience is from the States, so maybe they need to understand that football is actually soccer. You guys are the only country in the world that calls it soccer. Maybe Premier League, I don't know. I don't know if they do, but man, you are the only country in the world that calls it soccer. We call it football. It's basically because it's the ball touching the foot. And probably it actually comes from an English word. So I don't know what you guys calling it soccer. Now, that's why I call it American football. But so that's just for clarifying terminology. But yeah, man, fan of the Colts, fan of the Nuggets. Started watching professional sports probably when I was like 8-9 years old, which was about 2003, 2004. And so you know how like you sit down with your dad or with your brother, your older brother, and he like they try to like teach you things. It's like, this is the team and this is their color, and very simple stuff. You start watching, you start understanding real quick, like things are happening, and there's a ball and there's points and like everything that goes around. You start understanding it then. But so I just don't remember exactly like the moments, but I just remember watching these specific players play, and now I'm gonna tell you in a minute who were they, if you can't guess already. But so I was very impressed by their skill, by their ability, by their leadership, and by the way they played. Like the plays they did really impressed my eyes, and so that's why I got caught up with like these players, and then I started following the teams which were they were part of. So for basketball, it started with Allen Iverson, AI, the answer. Guy was an absolute beast on the field, playing amazing basketball, like tremendous skill set and tremendous dribble abilities, like even crossed off the GOAT MJ. So probably you guys can also respect AI's talent. And interestingly enough, I started following him when he was in the Sixers, and I think it was the last year at the Sixers. I think it was 2003. Can't remember properly, but then he moved on to the Nuggets, and then I started watching him play Carmelo and Marcus Camby and Kenyon Martin and J.R. Smith. right at the beginning of his career, and man, I fell in love with that team. It was amazing, and like things started to happen really well for them. And then I think I don't remember if it was 2007 or 2008. They made it to the conference championship against the Lakers, and then man, Kobe Bryant blew us off. I think it was like 4-1 the series, and so I was so pissed. But I also like that was the moment that really declared my love for the Nuggets. And then afterwards, man, AI left, and like the team really changed a lot. But I decided to just keep my fandom, with the Nuggets. And same happened with the Colts. I started watching with Peyton Manning was giving amazing games and playing amazing football, and just started following the Colts. And then he also left for the Broncos, but I decided to stay because I've seen him won and lose one of the Super Bowls. So the one they won against Chicago, and then the one they lost against the Saints. So you kind of like saw them in their ups and their downs, so you kind of like stay with them. And I also developed so much love for Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, that those guys. I don't know if you guys can remember that. It was just a massive team. And so for Chelsea, it was really just about also watching Premier League and just seeing, Frankie Lampard and Drogba play. And that was the moment that I was like, man, this team is insane. That's the team that I got to follow. And so, yeah, that's probably more the simplest out of the three. But I feel like most of the people follow teams for one of the following three reasons. One is because their parent told them to follow that team, and so then they follow it. Then the second one is because they watched them play and they liked it. And the third one is because they have a specific relationship with the city. Either they have, I don't know, like a specific parent or relative that they live in the city, and then that's why they follow that specific team. I don't know if I can think of any of other reason, but I feel like those are probably the most relevant reasons why people start following teams. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, that sounds like the big three. I think you nailed it right on the head there, for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, obviously, when you with the city where you grew up with, if that's like your only city, that's the team you're going to follow. But Ronen, I wanted to ask you how you speak of football over there. You talk about Peyton Manning and Dallas Clark and all this. How big is the NFL in Mexico? I mean, is it like I don't want to say it's like here in the U.S., but is it growing like it is in Europe? As we have technical difficulties. And looks like we lost sound here.
Yeah, I think he lost.
All right. We're still here. No worries.
Can't hear us.
No worries.
All right. No worries. Yeah, so, hey, fan experience is international now. I think he's back.
There he is. We can hear you now. You're good.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Oh, he's just plugging in now.
Yeah.
You got us?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes, we have.
I think my AirPods died. I'm so sorry.
No. So, but how big is the NFL in Mexico City? How is it?
Oh man, it's quite popular. Like me and my friends here, we have a fantasy league and we play.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah, no, we play since I was like 10 years old, man. Like this, seriously, since super young, and everyone here has a team and supports some team from the NFL. Probably NFL is the most popular league, and then I'd say like either baseball, and then the MLB, and then the NBA.
No, that's interesting. And it's funny you mentioned Premier Soccer League. I would have figured, because I'm a Messi fan. You're not like a Messi, big Ronaldo, Messi kind of guy.
No, so I actually am also supporting Barcelona.
Okay.
Probably also because of Ronaldinho. Also watching him play since I was growing up. Then I stayed, but I kind of like not a big fan of La Liga because of its lack of competitive.
Yeah, it's only a couple teams.
Yeah. That's why I stopped following it a couple of years ago. Man, I still feel like Messi is the GOAT, and the Clásicos. Like I've been to one of the Clásicos, and it's really high quality soccer, football.
Wow.
But not. I don't think that I've been convinced enough to stay and watch most of the games. Are you guys Premier League or Liga fans?
So I mean, I'll be honest with you. I watch like the big, like right now we have the qualifiers going on over here in the States. So I'll watch a game there, or I'll watch a World Cup game, or I'll watch like if Messi's playing against Ronaldo or something like that, like one of the like UEFA Cups or big time games. That's when I watch it. But for the most part, it's not something that at least I follow here. But it's growing big. I mean, we have NYFC and we have the Red Bulls. I mean, soccer is pretty big here, believe it or not.
Man, you know what's even bigger?
Trying to make a push. Yeah.
You know what's even? I saw this stat in the States. You know that the most popular league in the States is actually La Liga MX. It's the league here from soccer league here in Mexico.
Yeah.
And people actually there go more crazy about our league that we do. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a lot of passion on that end.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe because of the amount of Latinos that there are in the States. But man, it's popular as hell. Like.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I mean it's worldwide, so like it makes sense. And then obviously the United States is a melting pot, inclusive for everybody, and and that's what people know. I mean, people don't know American football as much as they do know about soccer. Especially if they're coming over. So it definitely makes sense. I mean, I have a lot of family members that. I'm Greek, but the ones that kind of they came over, that they're big on soccer because that's what they knew. But I'm kind of with Rick. When the World Cup is on, I like to watch that, and I'm usually rooting for Greece or the U.S. But it's fun to watch for sure. I just haven't been 100% invested in soccer, but I want to go to a live soccer match, not a game, right? It's a match.
Yeah, that's correct.
So yeah, I want to go to live and in person soccer match, maybe for episode 200. Huh, Rick? What do we think?
Yeah. Let's do it. That'd be interesting.
So where did your passion for sports tech come in? Because you have a newsletter / magazine called Sports-Tech Biz Magazine, so where you post up a lot of current news about different things in sports tech. So talk to us about where that passion came from, and more about what the Sports-Tech Biz Magazine is.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I gotta say that my passion for technology, man, comes from I feel like being a millennial, just being raised with all iPhones and the computers, and you start seeing all the technology developing, and you're kind of like the generation that still understands it, but also understands a little bit of how it was before them. Right. So right. I knew the world without iPhones. I knew the world without internet. It's just that I went through the transition super quickly. And so, man, technology has been there for me for my whole life. And here's the moment where I kind of understood that technology in sports was a whole different ball game. And so I was in Israel in the university, and was attending actually a conference on sports technology. So back then, this was probably 2017. And back then, I didn't even knew sports technology was a thing. Okay, so I understood that balls were made in a specific way that involved technology and involved specific materials, made to improve the way materials used in sports are. But I didn't really understood the size of or the what was really about. And so at this sports conference, there was this booth on a technology called Respect Basketball. Shout out to these guys, Israeli technology, huge, very popular stuff. That I actually saw the technology 1 year before on the All-Star game on basketball. And so this technology, what it actually does is that it actually gives you the specific location on the basket, on the circular basket or the hoop, on where the ball landed. And so these guys, it's a sensor that really accumulates these data about the shooters, and they showcased this technology on the All-Star game on the 3-point shootout. So it was really fun to see it, and then I saw it live. Like, I saw the guys that made that technology, and I was like, my mind was like blown. I was like, wow, are you guys the ones that did this? Like, what's going on? Like, seriously, like I couldn't really believe it. And so, man, I went to the CEO and I was like, man, listen, I don't know if you need me or not, but I want to work for you. Like, I want you to bring me in. This is so cool. And so he was like, yeah, maybe, come in as an intern, help us out with a little bit of like market research, figure out what's going on with, the market in Latin America, which I was strong of because of the language. And so out of a sudden, like, I realized that this was a world that contained so many things and so many innovations. And so I was like, man, I got to get involved. And so after that startup, I worked at another startup in sports technology for tickets. And it was also very fun and interesting because of the things that I learned. But so I started to understand that there's more to sports. There's more to like the idea of just, people playing in the field. Funny that I use the words.
Yeah,
playing the field.
That was good. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
So I realized that things were more deep than they looked, and so that's when I kind of like started doing some more research and learning more about it, man. And by the time that COVID came, I was like, I realized the power of the internet, because everything shifted through the internet. And so that's when I finished my degree, and I realized that I like had to like start to keep moving towards my interests and my passions, which were absolutely like sports and technology. And so I was like, why don't I like start researching about it, reading more about it, which was something that I was already doing, but then also publishing it and sharing it with people that share my mindset and share my interests and share my passions. And so funnily enough, like, that wasn't the first iteration of what I wanted to do. Like, at the beginning, like, I thought about doing like a flyer with just fun images of things that are happening in sports technology, but then I realized that it was a mess, and designing it every week is going to take me like a lot of time. And so I figured that the best way to put something you read into like a published thing or content is really mostly written word, although probably video. No, I would say like, yeah, I would say like written word is like the easiest medium to send a message. So do that the first 25 weeks. Probably no one read me other than my mom and my grandma. But then you start to see traction, right? Because you iterate on the process, and you iterate on the content, and you improve your writing, and you're also acquiring skills. So that's the cool thing. You're actually acquiring new skills. You're learning about the topics that you're interested in. You're using it as a reason to just talk to the people that are there doing the things that they do. Right. And so that's how I started to meet, amazing people in sports, amazing people in technology, building companies that I never imagined that they would be doing. And so, yeah, that's actually how the Halftime Snacks podcast came along, by just understanding that there's so many stories out there. Probably like you guys also realize something similar, that, fans are out there with stories that are so interesting and so valuable, that why not share them, right? So that's really how I started. And man, like, the process has been so fun, but like I kind of like realized that you can't focus on like how many people read you, or how many people listen to your show, or how many people tune into your live stream. As long as you're doing it for yourself, as long as you're doing it, man.
100%.
I was using my content as like literally as a Trojan horse. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Trojan horse, right? But the Romans were at war with the Trojans, and these motherfuckers,
they built a horse.
They built a horse, and they give it to them like a gift. Right. And so and that was the way they got into the city, and I eventually conquered the city. So this is my content is my Trojan horse. And this is not something fake. This is something I'm building for free, and I'm giving it to people that are interested in it. Right. It's not that I'm throwing it away and not doing anything with it. I'm giving it away to people that might be interested in this. And so they also keep me in the loop with what they're interested in. So I feel like that was the idea of just getting in through not submitting my curriculum, or coming in as another weird guy from Twitter or LinkedIn that just wants to take time off from like highly, professional people in sports that are really busy and don't have time for, uninteresting or conversations that I couldn't add any value. So so the way I thought about it is, how can I add value to them, right? And so out of a sudden, like, I've realized that I can actually build an audience of people that are actually interested in this, and then offer it for free and use it as my Trojan horse for projects in the future. And that's how like opportunities came along, and business, deals, and some other people have offered me projects to get involved in. And everything is just because of the content, right? It's not that I'm, someone with a PhD, or that I've worked for Barcelona, or that I was Ronaldo's agent, right? I'm just creating content for them. And so that's why they're interested in me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was incredible. Did we lose sound there again, or?
No, I think we're good now.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you guys lost me?
No, we're good.
We got you.
Okay.
It was the talking and the sound were not in sync.
I wanted to ask you, did it surprise you? And as we've done this show, it surprised me how much technology is involved in sports today, in terms of like how people train, how they put a lineup together, how they put a team together. Has it taken you aback by how much technology is involved in all these decisions that these teams make? Man,
it's insane. Like, to be honest, at the beginning, like when I started writing, and I was writing once a week, and I still write once a week, some folks were coming on and they were like, man, but you're gonna run out of things to write about. Right. But then I was like, man, you're so out of your mind. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. There's so much. There's just so many things, man. And it's crazy, like from fan engagement to like AR, VR, and machine learning, to stadium technology, and improving performance and wearables, Apple Watch and whatever, what have you. There's just so many things, man. And it can go from like the way it impacts the sport itself, or the way it impacts, a second or third, order effect out of it, that it could mean fans, it could mean entertainment, it could mean like relationships, like you guys start building, this app for building relationships out of sports. Like, there's just so many things, and technology is here to really reduce or eliminate scarcity in the things that are lacking in sports. So for instance, we're lacking the opportunity to create friendships and even find relationships and our MVP, as you guys say it. We still lack that, but the opportunity lies there. It's just that we don't have the technology available until you guys to finally be able to do that, right? So the scarcity of that element of we don't have it is not even you can't use it as a reason anymore. You can develop it, and so eventually it will be developed. Technology is here to improve the way we do things, to make them easier, to make them faster, to make them smaller, closer to our bodies, more personal, more personalized. And so technology is really going to revolutionize everything we know about sports. It's just going to make it so much better. And I just can't stop thinking about ways in which it's going to be able to do it. So you asking me, like, is there an end to this, man? It's an infinite, like, seriously, so many things to do in sports and technology.
Wow.
Just getting started. Rick has mixed feelings on some of the technology that's out there, and definitely the data and the analytics, and of course we don't want to lose all that human touch that's made.
But let's get into it, Rick. Like, tell me, like, what's the?
Oh, Rick won't stop.
Let's go. Let's go. Here's the thing. And this is a perfect example of, like, let's talk about baseball, for example. So baseball, they use analytics to terms on spin rate, to terms how to build a lineup. And me and Mike were talking about this last year because the Yankees were playing the Rays in the playoffs, and they went by analytics. They started a pitcher one inning, then they changed the pitcher because their data told them.
Yeah.
And I just think I think they're relying on people who have never played the sport, who don't have a feel for the sport or the game, and they're just relying on a bunch of people who see numbers and said, okay, here are the numbers. Incorporate this. What's missing is the human element, the feel of the game, the heart of the person on the mound, the experience of the batter who's been in certain situations, like things like that. that is being taken out of the game that people. I think the fan still wants to see. The fan doesn't want a robot out there. If they did, they just watch esports all the time. No, they like that human element. And I think too much of the time, analytics and the data, because the big thing now is the analytics and the data, particularly here in New York with the Yankees, for example. Like we think we have a robot manager and boom, they tell them, here's your lineup. This is what the data, just follow this script and you're going to win. And that's just not the case, right? I mean, I think the human element, little by little, is being taken out of sports in that sense. That's what I think.
No, absolutely. Listen, I've had this conversation a lot of times with lots of professionals in sports and technology and like people really seriously working with the data. Like the people that are with the data, I've asked them this question thousands of times. And so here's my lesson. Here's my takeaway on that. At least now you have the option to choose. Before, you didn't know what was the expected value of specific game, or you didn't know what was the analytics going to tell you, right? You know, I've heard this discussion even on ESPN of how like analytics is killing the game and like how going for it on a 4th and 2 is more worth it than kicking in specific situations, and how it's really ruining the game. But man, the thing is that you at least now have the option to see this, and the technology just enables you to see the option. Before, it would have taken you 1,500 years to collect all the data and putting it together to come up with a model, in a piece of paper to tell you that it was worth it to go for it, or to, change the picture in the example that you gave. Now you have the option to choose. And that's what's crazy about technology, because technology is not telling you to choose.
Right.
Or to change. It's just giving you the option to see what past performance or past, historical data says about the specific situation, right? And so we also are seeing an evolution in data analytics and sports analytics, right? Before, we used to just collect, how many goals people made in soccer games, or how many home runs, or how many hits, how many touchdowns.
Right.
And so then we were able to decide which players we're gonna play on our fantasy based on that. Now we're also able to see what the prediction is based off, specific things like weather and conditions in the field, and time of the game, and how this player has performed specific times of the day. And so you're able to just put so many layers of complexity and things that a human would take them like 100 lifetimes to figure out. And so now you can do it. You can only automate that and have the option to see it. And I feel like seeing it really gives the coach or the player, or anyone out there, even a fan playing a fantasy player, gives him the option to think and have more options to choose. And so that's what's exciting about technology. Like, I understand how it might feel that technology is ruining the game in a sense, but in another sense is really giving you more alternatives to make decisions. And I think that's where you're going to see specifically like who's the coach that, with all the decision, like all the like elements to make better decisions, is actually the one making the best decisions, right? So before, you would see a coach changing a batter or a pitcher, and then you'd blame him. You'd be like, man, you have no reasons. But now he has all the reasons why. And so if he succeeded, so then he's a better coach. But if he didn't, then it gives us a little bit more of depth on knowing where the talent really lies. So, and that's another thing about technology. Like, technology really uncovers talent, like wearables and stuff, give you specific numbers that tell you. And man, this is like huge, man. I'm just going off topic right now, but this is like huge. This is huge in like scouting, for instance, right? Because before like scouts needed to travel to cities and go and see players one by one, and that was so like unscalable, right? And now you can have video technology that just gathers all the data and stores it in a digital signature in the blockchain, and just sends it to the team. And teams are just saving money and time, and they're also discovering the true talent out there. So it's really I know where your feeling comes from, Rick, and I understand it completely. And probably my answer is just that it will give us more alternatives to do things that we really weren't able to do before, and that's the exciting part.
No, I get that, but I also think like it's one thing to have the data. Yes, like they tell you, if you go for it on 4th and 2 at the 48-yard line on a fourth quarter, it's 25% of the time. But it's also depending on the score, how the momentum is flowing in the game, home or away. How do you feel that you have the other team on the ropes? Like those are elements that the data cannot compute, right? And you can't also compute like the heart of the person playing. So I think
Johnny Five.
Right. So I think there's just I at least for right now, I just think that especially in baseball, it's skewed towards the talent. There's an imbalance, right? There's more towards the data and the human elements being taken out. Where I think there needs to be a little gradual more back to even it out between data and human element. That's all.
Yeah, that's why I think
Judgment Day.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's why I think I don't think technology is going to replace humans. It's just going to give humans and coaches and players more. No, I don't think like probably replace jobs that require a lot of like handwork and things that no one wants to do, like writing things down or collecting things that are just massive, like amounts, like for instance replays. Man, like technology is just going to do what humans don't want to do. And they're gonna put it together in a very nice and very sexy UI that everyone's gonna use. So I think, but I don't really see it replacing jobs that require this ability of decision making, as you're mentioning, Rick, on like for instance on the game and like the feeling and the momentum and like all the things that go out, in between. I don't think that a technology or a specific thing that is not human will be able to replace that. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, but where do people draw the line? Because okay, you're of a certain age and you grew up with both, but the people that are going to be coming into the sports industry only know smartphones, only know the Netflixes. My daughter doesn't even she could skip commercials on YouTube. She doesn't want to watch an ad on YouTube because that's beneath her. She's just not going to want to watch the ad. If they're giving you the option to skip the ad, she skips it. So my point is, in 20 years, we're not going to be in the ones making these decisions. And how many more technological advances are they going to throw in this game where it's going to be 90% on the technical side and the robot side, and where and when is that line going to be drawn? That is the question, and I guess we can't see it right now. But we're playing devil's advocate here, but that's where we're going to trend. It's not happening next year, but in 2040.
There's not going to be umpires anymore. I can tell you that right now. There will not be
umpires. There's not going to be umpires anymore, except for Angel Hernandez. He'll probably still be there.
Yeah. Let's use playing the field as an example. Like I don't see playing the field creating all the relationships and friendships out in the field and in the game. Only that. So I'm saying that the element of technology is going to be there, and it's going to enable us to create more. Yet I don't see it replacing also the interactions that we have live. And so that's a key element, and that's why people like you guys and like me that understand both worlds are really important in this shift. And so that's why I think that we are the, let's say, influencers of this new generation, right? Because I'm not seeing Robert Kraft or Mark Cuban is like the only guy that is really out in the media and pushing the boundaries in sports and technology and bringing the new things in. But man, that late generation is almost dead. You know what I'm saying? Like the influencers in sports and particularly technology, man, it's not people that are 45, 50, 65 years old. It's us. And we understand both worlds. And we're really going to be the ones driving the shift, I believe. And so that's why our job is really important in one sense, but also in the other sense is that it really needs to bridge between what's needed and what's exaggerated. Like, for instance, like there's need for specific, watching a specific game of basketball only on VR. Like, I don't see that happening. Like, man, the movie Space Jam 2 was amazing, it was fun, but I don't see that happening, replacing the game. I think that those are going to be things that are going to complement the game and the actual live experience, as playing the field is doing with, connecting more and more people together. I see it just complementing, but in no way substituting, man. It's impossible. It's the nature of sports is about the live element. It's about, being there and watching things that no one really expected and no one was seeing coming. So I see it more as a complement more than really a substitute in as an overall sense. But in specific areas, I do see, things substituting, specific jobs, like for instance ticketing. I don't think that we're gonna have live box offices in stadiums, in probably in 2040, as you mentioned, like, because the human element was there to sell physical tickets when it was needed. But in the future, everyone's going to carry a smartphone. Everyone's going to be able to, grab a ticket, from anywhere in the world. And the human there is just going to be useless. So they're going to eliminate that job. But I don't think technology will come for a coach's job as it comes for a box office job, if that makes any sense at all.
No, we can go on and on about this, man.
Well, one thing's for sure. Technology was responsible for getting a coach fired or resigning. So at least we know that. So they do. Technology does does play a factor in that sense. In this case, as we saw this.
No, absolutely, because it can. I think that it's a double-edged sword, that it can benefit you as much as it can hurt you. Again, if you don't know how to read the data, it's gonna hurt you. If you don't know how to use a wearable, it's gonna hurt you. It's the idea is just there are tools that, being used properly, will enhance everything that you do, and that will reduce or eliminate scarcity wherever there is in sports and in life. And I mean, like, and an iPhone can also distribute negative things and hate and crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's not that an iPhone is gonna replace evil, but that's just philosophy in the end. We can go over.
It's just another another tool, and it's it could be used for good. It could be used for bad. Unfortunately, we're not the ones to control that. But since we're running up against the clock real quick, so as many of you know, who were able to catch it, I was on Ronen's show called the Halftime Snacks Podcast. And it was great. And
Rick, you got to make it this way.
Yeah, next time, man, let me know. I'll get on that show over there. We'll talk some sports. We'll talk some soccer. We'll do it all, man. Don't matter.
And
absolutely.
So the concept is, it's short enough to get some halftime snacks, and just consume it in the process of like a halftime show. So I guess a good question for you is, what do you think about the Super Bowl halftime show announcement that we got?
Man, it's insane, bro. I mean, I'm not sure that it's able to substitute my halftime snacks, man, you know what I'm saying? But man, it's so
all right.
Dude,
it's just a tad bit under, right?
So here's what you guys gotta do, okay? So you guys gotta play the halftime snacks and then just watch what happens, okay? Don't listen to what Eminem or Dr. Dre or Kendrick Lamar is singing.
Yeah.
Just listen to the show and then just watch, okay? That's the perfect combination.
Well, we'll be out there in LA for Super Bowl weekend, but not at the Super Bowl. We'll catch you guys from some other place.
You guys are going to the Super Bowl? No way.
Well, we'll be in LA. We're trying to do a show out there, but we'll definitely be out there. See if we can get a couple of Super Bowl parties. See how things are going out there.
Man, I gotta come. If you guys are gonna be there, man, I gotta come. That's
Hey, let's meet up. Let's go. Make it a party, bro. Yeah. If you know about any parties, let's do it.
Hey,
what
if
is
you know
it? What is
any
it like?
games plays on
What is it
town,
like a
man,
10-hour
let me
drive
know.
for you? What is it? Like 10-hour drive? What is it?
No, yeah, that's insane, man. I'm not driving, man. I'm flying.
Skyward just drives 10-hour drive. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. But if you're out there, man, let's connect.
Yeah. Happy to
Joe
do that,
loved
man.
the show. Thank you for tuning in, Joe. And
Oh, so people can comment on the live show,
Of
man.
course,
That's so
absolutely.
great.
Live, bro.
Oh,
Live.
so why we weren't throwing some like Q&A or something? That's insane, man. I gotta get this platform. What's the name of this shit? It's amazing.
This is StreamYard, right?
This is StreamYard is what we're using.
Yeah. We're working on getting some more what's it like?
Interactivity.
Interaction with the fans.
Yeah, like call in.
Oh,
We've tried playing around with
Good.
Clubhouse a little bit,
that's
but
so nice.
yeah. And the
Man,
next step is to get like a switch box, like a switchboard, and
Oh, with like sound and stuff.
yeah, like a soundboard. That's it.
Dude,
But
you guys are killing it. Like seriously, it's
in due
amazing.
time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and you as well. I mean, you just aired episode 69 today, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was
Yeah.
mentioning Mike, Rick. I was mentioning
Yeah.
Mike, how like Tuesdays is a very competitive day for sports content.
Yeah.
Man, that's great, man. Like I'm so down to it, and I'm so happy to see you guys are really killing it. And this like
Yeah.
experience is really amazing.
We're trying.
It's so fun, man. So yeah, so you guys can check out Halftime Snacks on Tuesdays as well. Rick, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, let me know when, and I'll make a cameo. I'll shave and everything. I'm a mess right now, dude. I'm just a mess. Yeah.
We had a long weekend. We had
it's been a long weekend.
Big show, man. So everybody go check out Halftime Snacks podcast. If you didn't listen to the one that I was on, go for it. And a lot of great episodes. Some of the past guests that we've had on this show. We've had Max, Andrew, Matt Wolf. They've all been on the show as well. So it really is. It's a great show. It's nice and that bite size. It really is fun, and it's a lot of the same things that we talked about today, plus a little bit more deeper dives into other things. So go check that out. Definitely sign up for Sports-Tech Biz newsletter or magazine, and follow Ronen on Twitter and Instagram, and we will post all the links in the show notes after we post those as well. Ronen, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, bro. You took us global, man. You took us global.
International. Thank you for being our first international.
Yeah.
First international guest. We'll see you in Los Angeles, hopefully.
Absolutely.
But definitely, we'll obviously keep in touch, and Rick will get on your show one of these days as well, because that one's you're killing it over there as well. So.
Yeah, no, man, it was so great to be here. So fun. Appreciate you guys inviting and giving me the opportunity to come as a guest to one of the shows, one of the popular shows in sports. I want to congratulate you guys on crossing over 100 episodes. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but you're like in the top like 0.0001 percentile of like content creators in sports, and that's insane. Like, it's really unique. You guys are doing an amazing job. As I said, this was so fun, and you guys are killing it, man. Like, doing live shows. Yeah. This is like next level. So, tons of respect to what you guys are doing. Really
appreciate that, man. Well, we will see you in LA, and let's coordinate a time. I'll get on your show.
All right, man. Thank you guys for inviting.
All right. Have a good night, Ronen.
Thanks, Ronen. All right, there we have it, man.
Wow. No, that was good though. Like talking about that. But it's truth though, man. 2040.
Dude, 2040, we're not going to have bartenders. We're not going to have umpires.
We're not going to have bartenders. Tended bars kicking ass.
Tended bars killing it. Yeah,
killing it.
You can't get rid of the bartenders, man. Come on.
I mean, they're killing it over there in Jacksonville. I mean, God knows they need it against Jacksonville.
Well,
they need they need quick service on their alcohol.
Oh
right now
they must be just pounding beers down there.
But Trevor Lawrence balled out a little bit.
They played well this weekend.
Tennessee, Derrick Henry 3 touchdowns. Unbelievable. But I guess let's do both kind of like a recap / picks for next week's games. What are we? Week 6 now?
Week 6 week 6.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I already made my pick. They are in here, but let's go and attack in here.
Let's do a rapid fire here.
Rapid fire. All right. We started off Thursday night. Tom Brady and his hurt thumb against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Brady is favored by 7.
Yeah, I just can't see the.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, but I don't see the Eagles. The way Antonio Brown's playing right now, I don't see the Eagles keeping pace.
They annihilated the Dolphins. Yeah. Annihilated them. So I think Brady easily. Speaking of the Dolphins, they play the Jaguars in London. The Jaguars are home dogs by 3.5.
Miami's a mess right
now. Are winning this game.
I'm with you. Jaguars are going to win this game. Miami's a mess right now. They don't have a quarterback.
But definitely covering the 3.5.
Yes, 100%.
The 3.5 they're getting. And the consensus right now on the Sharp Rank app is 100% for the Jaguars.
Okay.
For an FYI. Not a big sample size, though. Packers going to Chicago. Packers are favored by 4.5. I think the Packers. I'm not even gonna...
Yeah, I think the Packers as well. Justin Fields, he hyperextended his knee in the game last week. He's playing. Obviously, it's not a big issue, but he's like all the other rookies, man. He's just he's flying by the seat of his pants out there. So I'll take Green Bay to cover and win that game comfortably.
Yeah. Now this is an interesting one. You got the Texans. They're 9.5-point dogs at Indianapolis, and we thought the Patriots were going to handily, beat the Texans. The Texans are not to be underestimated.
No,
I think it's a little bit of an underestimation with giving them 9.5 points against the Colts after that debacle just the night ago with the Ravens, and 9.5 points is a lot. I'm taking the 9.5 that Houston's getting.
I'm with you on that. Look, that kid Davis Mills, man, he plays well, dude. I'm taking the 9.5 as well. And after what happened to the Colts against the Ravens, that was an emotional game loss. Yeah. Houston coming close to a victory. They want to win. I'm taking the Texans plus 9.5.
Yep. Kansas City in the cellar of the AFC West. But they are heading now to Washington to play the football team, and Taylor Heineke. They're favored by 6.5. It looks like they're going to go in one game, out the next. In one game, out the next. Kansas City takes this one, and by a touchdown, I could see them winning by a touchdown.
Yeah, with all the mess.
The football team does not have the defense that we thought they would have.
Yeah, and what's going on this week with the emails and Dan Snyder and the whole thing, that's a mess over there. Kansas City's that's a win for Kansas City there.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams against the hobbled and ridiculously hobbled New York Giants. Rams are favored by 10.5, and the game is in New York.
Give me the Rams. I don't think Daniel Jones plays. Barkley's not going to play. Galladay looks like he's hurt.
Tony's not going to play.
Yeah.
Who knows about Shepard? Who knows about Slayton? They've been out 2 games now.
Yeah. Give me the Rams and the points.
That's a lot. Yeah. 10.5 is a lot, but they have
the Giants are just banged up.
Complete team.
Yeah.
The Bengals, tough loss. 5 missed field goals between the 2 teams. Them and the Packers last week. And the Bengals kicker was celebrating his miss.
Yeah.
Thinking it went in. Bengals are favored by 3 against Detroit in Detroit.
I'm gonna take Detroit. Dan Campbell crying last week. Lions coming close, man. You can just almost sense it. I think the fans carry them here, and the Lions get a W here. And give me the Lions plus 3.5.
Nah. No, I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay.
Taking the Bengals to win this. Vikings at the Panthers. Panthers with a rough last-minute loss. Vikings with a nice last-minute win against those Lions. Panthers blocked punt back for a touchdown against the Eagles.
Yeah.
And the Panthers are in Carolina. They're by 1.5 over the Vikings, and I think the Panthers take care of business against the Vikings.
I have no faith in Sam Darnold. He's come back to earth. I'll take Minnesota -1.
I think McCaffrey comes back.
I still say Minnesota.
All right.
Yeah.
Herbert travels to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson. Herbert is getting 3 points. Lamar Jackson, obviously the Ravens are on a hell of a come-from-behind victory.
Yeah.
Chargers have to travel, but I'm still going to pick the Chargers.
I'm with you, man. They put 47 points up on one of the best defenses in the league with the Cleveland Browns. I expect them to do the same. I expect them to drop close to 50 points on this one. This is a good game. It's going to be a great game, but I like the Chargers in this one.
All right.
Chargers +3.
Yeah. The Cardinals are underdogs at Cleveland by 2.5 points.
Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray? My money's with Kyler Murray. Give me the Cardinals +3.
Yeah, I have +2.5, but it might have changed since I picked it. But yeah, even though +3, +2.5, good to go. The Raiders visit the Broncos. Raiders are getting 3.5 points. I mean, turmoil central. 3.5 is a lot for Denver to cover. So I think Denver wins, but the Raiders cover the 3.5.
No, I think Denver -2. You know what?
If you have 2.5, I would pick them.
Gruden just resigned. I think the weight of the world is off. At least in terms of that point, I think the players are going to go out and play for the new coach. I'm with you. Raiders +3.5.
Okay. Yeah. The Cowboys go to New England. The Cowboys are favored by 4.
Give me the Cowboys -4.
The question is, Belichick shuts down their top player of the team that they're playing. They shut down Brady. They shut down Brandon Cooks this past week. Who do they shut down for the Cowboys? Everyone's playing well. Everybody's playing well.
They're not shutting anybody. I don't know how they stop CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how they stop Amari Cooper.
They have Zeke and Pollard. They have Amari Cooper and CeeDee. They have Dak, who runs and throws. Dalton Schultz, is a monster out there at tight end right now. So, 4 points. I think they cover that. Mac Jones is going to get picked off by Trayvon Diggs for his 6th straight game with an interception.
I'm with the Cowboys. They're going to win this one.
Yeah. Seahawks and Geno Smith at the helm because Russell Wilson is out for about 6 to 8 weeks. Surgery on his middle finger tendon. Travels to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is favored by 4.5. Pittsburgh has also lost Juju Smith-Schuster for the season with a broken shoulder, I believe. It's Geno Smith, and for that reason and that reason alone, and the Pittsburgh defense, I'm going with the Steelers. Not because I like their offense, but I think because of their defense.
The Steelers are going to win this game, -4.5. Jamal Adams can't cover you or me, okay? And Russell Wilson
that doesn't mean Ben Roethlisberger all of a sudden is going to be.
And Russell Wilson covers a lot of flaws in that team. I'm taking the Steelers -4.5. Even as bad as they've been playing,
they don't even have their starting running back either.
Chris Carson's out too, so I like the Steelers.
Yep.
As Atlanta has just clinched and they are going to the National League Championship Series.
Oh, did they? They came back and clinched?
Yeah, they came back and clinched.
Oh, okay. All right. Atlanta versus to be determined tonight, right?
Yeah. And then your boy, and then it's the Bills and the Titans. What's the spread on your end over there?
I have 5.5. Bills are favored by 5.5. Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry was stiff-arming people a year ago over there in Buffalo. But this is a completely different Buffalo Bills team, and the Titans lucked out by getting the Jaguars this week. Let's just say. The Bills are a more complete team. They know how to control the ball and hold on to that ball. Buffalo Bills by 5.5. I think Vegas begging you to take them.
And you know what?
I'm taking them.
I'm taking them. I'm taking them.
We're too gullible, and we're going to take them.
I'm taking them. Minus 5.5. I'm taking them.
Yeah. All right. So the Braves advance. The Giants are about to start right now. The Giants-Dodgers.
Yeah, top of the first right now.
Giants win. They advance.
Yep.
I think whoever wins in this Giants-Dodgers matchup goes to the World Series.
With you on that.
Personally, I don't think the Braves have enough to overcome either one of these Western teams. And then we have Boston and the Astros kicking off
the ALCS
this weekend for the ALCS. And I guess I like Boston on that one.
I don't know. Astros are pretty good. I mean, they have that experience.
I'm just rooting for Boston on that one. I mean,
on that note,
it goes that way. But Boston and the Giants. My pick.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Week 6 upon us, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday for episode 102.
102. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.
Have a good one.